Hi, welcome to the second video in this 7-part series which describes how to install the Raspberry Pi 2 into the Tontec Aluminum case and connect the fan to the GPIO pins. If you have no interest in using a metal case with a fan, you can skip this 10-minute video and move on to another one in the series that's of more relevance to you. I purchased the Tontec case shown herein for just under £20 on Amazon.co.uk. There are many less expensive cases, but being a consultant, I wanted a case that was sturdy and offered good protection from damage when being thrown into my backpack. Although the case is pretty good overall, a noticeable shortcoming is that there is no aperture for the Pi's camera module. If you don't plan on using this module and require good protection for your Pi from getting knocked about, I recommend the Tontec case. Okay, we've installed the Raspberry and Linux operating system on a micro SD card. I've removed that from my MacBook Pro, and now we're going to remove the micro SD card from the micro SD card adapter, and we are going to insert the side with the metal contacts facing up in the micro SD card slot there. So the picture should be facing out, the picture side should be facing out towards you, and the way this operates is just like that. Press it once, it locks. Press it twice, it ejects. So just make sure that's seated. I bought a Tontec case for this Raspberry Pi. Looks like that. Now, when you buy a case, make sure it expressly says for the Raspberry Pi 2. The Raspberry Pi 1 has only 2 USB ports, and the 2 has 4. So if you don't get one made for the 2, the apertures won't be correct and won't expose the additional USB ports. Right. There's also a aperture in the bottom, and I'll show you what that's for shortly. So now, in order to fit this in the case, we have to install these posts like that onto the Pi, and then there's a little nut. So there's 4 holes on the Raspberry Pi. We're interested in fitting these gold posts onto the back 2 holes next to the GPIO pins, and it's important you do it on the right side. So what we'll do is we'll put that like that, hold that in place with my finger, and we'll take the nut, hold that in place. Then I'll just sort of hold the nut in place with my forefinger. Okay, that's the first one done. Looks like that. Now let's do the next one. Take the nut. Okay, put the nut there. Then we'll line that up with the hole. Okay. Now I'll take the other post and I'll fit that on. Sorry about the video quality, it's quite hard to film this. Okay, so we've got our posts fitted to the Raspberry Pi, like so. Okay, this is a little bit of a detailed demonstration of how we're going to set up this fan assemblage. If you don't set this thing up right, you'll get it all together and the fan won't work, and you'll have to take it all apart. so let me just show you how this is organized here. See, we have our GPIO pins, right? What we're going to do is we're going to join that like that. Okay. You see how there's a set of pins on the side? That's how that is meant to look. If it doesn't look like that, your fan won't work. So let's just apply some power and validate that our fan's working before we put this thing all together in a case. Let's see. And as you can see, the fan's working. Right. So we're ready to proceed with putting it in the case now. Now that our fan is all connected up, we can start putting all the bits together. So let's line everything up. So we have our HDMI port there. So that's going to face that side like that. Let's slide it all in. Okay. Now, it's a little bit easier if you take your finger and you line everything up from the front. See, that's all kind of locked in place a little bit there. Now, we have to make sure these apertures are lined up and locked into place. So there we go. That's how it should look if everything is fitted correctly in the case. Now, as you can see, there are our gold posts, and that's what we're going to use to fasten the Pi to the Tontec case. So let's put that down like that. And our screwdriver. Okay. Let's do the other side. Don't go crazy over tightening it, because you don't want to strip the screws in case you ever have to get the thing out. Okay, so that's in there solid. Now, let's line this up. Okay. Wrong way around. There we are. Get our final case screws. Place that. Honestly, I would say putting the Pi in the case is the worst bit of the process. The rest of it isn't too bad. The case is quite fiddly, but it's a good case. It'll give it sufficient protection, and if you're in a hot place like Africa, Pakistan, or India, I guess the little fan can be quite useful to keep the device cool. So this is what it looks like, all fully assembled. Let's start connecting up our bits now.